JJ the CPA here. PPP forgiveness, self-employed PPP forgiveness, employers seeking PPP forgiveness. The Paycheck Protection Program, we know, is open for filing your PPP forgiveness application. The first thing to note is that in black and white, the SBA has indicated that you have 10 months from the end of your covered period to apply for forgiveness. What is also clear is that you can file for forgiveness anytime you want. Many banks are saying, let's wait to do anything about filing for forgiveness to see what happens with the next stimulus act, to see if there is going to be some straight up automatic forgiveness. The SBA came out with a new Form S, and with that Form 3508S, it is basically you listing what it is that your forgiveness amount is. You do still have to provide some documentation. It's for those that had $50,000 or less. And that's not what this video is about, though. I've got a number of playlists that you can check out as it relates to some of the minutia and the details to that. But the purpose of this video is to say you need to just wait. You need to wait to file for forgiveness. I understand that when you're dealing with the government that you may want to just hurry and get it over with, but you may be thinking of it like any circumstance. When you're in a hurry, typically it's not done properly. When you're in a hurry and everybody's in a hurry, things don't go as smooth as if you would just sit back and chill and wait and wait and wait to file for forgiveness. I'm telling all of my clients, we are most likely waiting until the first of the year, but we're certainly not filing for forgiveness right now. Now, you can come up with, 6 to 100 reasons why you think you need to file for forgiveness, and that's fine. But what I want to tell you is this. If you want to file for forgiveness, it's probably because you're not giving any amount or you're not getting any amount forgiven. So that must be why you're filing for forgiveness, because you're not getting it all or none of it forgiven. That might be a smart move from the standpoint that you can start making payments on it, because whatever's not forgiven, you are going to pay back, and the interest does start from the date that they dispersed it. There's a deferment of 12 months to make payments. But if you are going to get it forgiven, the majority of it forgiven at a 1% loan, you should wait. And the reason is based on the comments and emails that I'm getting. A couple of clients that kind of just jumped the gun, decided they want to go ahead and file for forgiveness, do it on their own. And, banks are batting 1,000 that they're coming back and asking for information that they don't need, or they're confused. For the self-employed, they're saying, you can't provide the Schedule C. It doesn't count. We need to see that you've paid yourself. And that's because the banks have not taken the time, which is just shocking and shameful, to actually read the instructions, read them thoroughly, read FAQs, understand the entire process of the PPP forgiveness versus just only looking at one paragraph. So if you're self-employed and you have the bank come back and they're like, well, we can't accept this, then you need to wait. And I'm sure that you might go in a panic mode and go, well, gosh, but I've already put in the application. What if it's wrong? And that's my exact point, why you should have waited. And so now if you feel like, well, I'm in a pickle, I'm in a rundown between second and third base, there's nothing wrong with just telling the bank, all right, well, I'll get that to you and put it on hold. You have 10 months to get it taken care of. So what we're waiting for is the SBA needs to come out with further clarifications on this process of forgiveness in terms of the documentation that's provided. As you know, they're always, the SBA, trying to make things more clear, not only for us, but for the banks. And from that perspective, the SBA, I think, has been very good as they've learned more, as they've seen the process start, coming out with additional information. Heck, they started the actual reviewing of SBA documents, and within a week they came out with a third PPP forgiveness application, the S version. So with the self-employed especially, please just wait. If you have questions and you say, well, the bank's come back and they said, well, I can't do this and I can't do that, all I'm going to tell you is that you need to wait. I'm not going to argue with your bank. I'm not going to come up with how to convince your bank otherwise. When the PPP came out, I had a number of videos that came out to basically educate the banks, if you will. And, well, no, you don't need this. Now you need to get this or follow up with this. But that was a panic mode. We knew PPP was running out. We knew that PPP had a finite amount of money. With PPP forgiveness, we don't have a panic mode. If you're panicked, you need to stop. You need to just stop it. So for those that have 50,000 or less, for those that have 150,000 or less, for those that have less than 2 million, you basically are going to be the first in related to the PPP forgiveness application process with your bank and with the SBA if you're trying to put in application now. I see zero benefit. I only see benefit in waiting. And the biggest part is just what I'm telling you. The banks are already coming back and saying, oh, I need this. And, well, no, I can't have that. And I've responded to a few saying, oh, well, show the bank this SBA FAQ, show the bank this SBA part of the instructions. They're incorrect. So if you want to put in your forgiveness application, then you're on your own, because in essence, you've decided, well, I want to be the first one to jump off the cliff. I want to be the first one that will blaze the trail. And in these circumstances, I don't see any advantage to that. Let everybody else jump off the cliff, and then you can figure out, well, how far is it to the bottom? When do I need to pull my parachute? Let everybody else blaze the trail as it relates to the forgiveness process and the documentation and what's actually needed. I think the SBA is going to probably come out with something. It just baffles me. It really baffles me how unintelligent the banking community can be. Not all banks, typically the bigger ones, like unintelligent. Like, who is actually looking at these instructions on your behalf as a bank? Because the SBA has made it so clear, and they've provided additional clarification to banks of just take this info as long as it looks reasonable, move on. And then these banks I think it's a power trip. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. So the best thing to do is wait for the SBA to throw a few more clues out for the bank, to throw out some more clarification out for the bank, especially for the self-employed. And I've got a number of other videos talking about the PPP forgiveness. How do you pay yourself if you're self-employed, which isn't actually possible. So check out my other playlist. All you got to do is just go to my channel, find playlists, and you're going to find playlists that talk about PPP forgiveness, that talk about it for the self-employed, for the employer, and walking through all that with you. So if I'm telling my clients to wait, I don't know how you've outsmarted the system by figuring out that there's some advantage to you to file now. I don't get it. And so my point in saying that is you've clearly outsmarted me. You've clearly come up with some reason that doesn't compute with me. So the questions that you'll probably have, unfortunately, I guess I'm not going to be on the same wavelength. I'm not going to be on the same page with you. And the bank's coming back and asking idiotic questions, and then you're wanting me to know how to reply to idiotic questions. I won't know how to reply to idiotic questions because they're idiotic. And I don't mean your question's idiotic. I mean the bank's questions are idiotic. So really, at the end of the day, you need to wait. You come up with 700 reasons why you need to go and file, then just go do it. I'm advising you that you need to wait. You come up with another reason, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this, and what about this? Then good for you, and go ahead and apply for forgiveness. And the reason I'm saying it in this manner and in this tone is to encourage you to wait. Wait a month. Wait 4 weeks. See if there's more stimulus. See if they do a outright forgiveness, sign here, you're done. I think the 3508S is a tee up for 50,000 or less, just put your dollar amount put your dollar amount down, and you're done. And you're done, and you're done. And so you're going to waste time and effort and frustration and going back and forth and documents and all that. And that doesn't compute with me. That doesn't actually register with me. So what you need to understand is I'm a human being, and I don't have to just provide information for those that want to go a completely different route than I'm advising. So if you want to go a different route and you want to go head to head with your bank and butt heads, because right now they're asking for information that doesn't make any sense, my reply is, well, what are you waiting? Why aren't you waiting? Just wait. Just wait. It's a plea. Wait. Now, if you got money and you shouldn't have, well, it should be easy. Yeah, none of it's forgiven. I don't have any documentation to give it to you. None of it's forgiven. My forgiveness amount, 0. Hand it in and start paying it back. But if you think you've got forgiveness and you got 10 months, and I'm not a procrastinator at all. What I am is I'm thinking ahead. I'm being smart. I'm looking at the history of the SBA, and I'm looking at the progress that we've seen thus far in the last couple of weeks, knowing that there's going to be more information to come out. So what do they say? Patience is a virtue. Wait. 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 And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you need to click it, because I'll start then saying, okay, hey, makes sense to start applying now. Makes sense to go ahead and put in your application. Makes sense. So for those that have an argument of why you need to file, go ahead and leave it. I'm not going to respond to it. Probably give you a thumbs up, but I don't really have any time to try and spar with anybody, even intelligently or even positively, on why you should go ahead and file right now. I just don't see any logic in any of that. It's only a benefit to wait. It's only a benefit to wait. So I'll leave you with this. If you're a soldier in this PPP fight, if you will, and you're an applicant, you're a borrower, you got the money, you are level soldier. And you have somebody that is guiding you and has been guiding you or trying to guide you. So I'm the platoon captain. And I say, don't go to the top of the hill right now. You should just not go to the top of the hill right now. You ask why, and you want to go and look, and you're curious, and you want to put your head over. Well, why don't you just think what could happen to a soldier that decides to go up the mountain and peek up over the hill, even though the platoon captain said, hey, just don't go to the top of the hill. Well, why not, Captain? Well, I thought this, and shouldn't we do that, and shouldn't we do that? And the captain would say then go ahead. I guess you're going to go to the top of the hill. Maybe not. I haven't been in the military, so I don't know if they might just tie that soldier down for his own good. But nonetheless, if you think you should go to the top of the mountain, then just go. But I'm not going to argue with you on why you shouldn't go to the top of the mountain. Just be aware that somebody has said to you that knows about this stuff, don't go to the top of the mountain. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Love it if you'd subscribe. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me. Have a great day.